All right, what's going on? It is 3 p.m. here in Chicago, Saturday, May 2nd. Welcome, everybody, to the live stream. For those of you listening on the podcast, this is the audio portion of the YouTube live stream that we have every day here on YouTube at 3 p.m. Central in Chicago. Just trying to keep everyone connected and entertained and just having conversations with all you guys while everything's going on in the world. So hopefully you guys are having a great Saturday today. Already we've got Tough Duck in here says, yo, what's going on? Hey, how are ya? Martha's here. CV76 is in here as well. What's going on, everybody? Look what came in the mail today. Finally got my signature mug in here. But really, what it really looks like is, I mean, it's like too simple, I think. I'm gonna leave it on the site, but I think it's still so simple. I think probably what I also could have done is just written with like a Sharpie on a mug. That's kind of what this looks like. But I like it. I think it turned out well. It's backwards to you guys now, but I think it turned out okay. So finally, some of the merch is starting to come in. I got some other stuff coming in later in this week, so I'm really excited to see how it's going to turn out. Um, Very excited to see you guys. I think you guys, depending on when you order, hopefully, like because like the way that Teespring and a lot of these places do it is like they'll like print stuff. It's print on demand, but like they print stuff like in batches in like a couple of days at a time. So hopefully you guys will be getting some of your stuff too. Cole Payne says, how's it going? It's going well. It's a beautiful day here in Chicago. I think after the live stream here, the girls and my wife, we're going to go for a little family walk. Try and do that safely around the neighborhood here. But like, I'm a little bit nervous. Like my wife and I are both nervous. Like every time the day is, the weather's nice, we're like, oh, it could be a dangerous day to go outside today because we're just afraid of, things that could happen. But uh, going to focus on the good stuff here and not worry about that and just hopefully enjoy the weather. Guillermo Munoz says, hi, greetings from Boston. Awesome, what's going on? J. Mike Remy says, happy Saturday to everyone. What a great sentiment. Beatrice Estrella says, hey, and Running with Mark says, hey, Mike, what's up? And Michael says, the mug looks great. Thanks. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Guido's here. Guido Motti's here. Motivation Theory Running's here. I think he's got his 50. He's doing a treadmill 50K coming up tomorrow. Is that right? Or is it not today, right? Tomorrow. Tomorrow that's coming up. So good luck with that. Hopefully you're getting rested up today. Martin Lang says, greetings from Germany. What's going on? Martha says, the mug is tasteful, understated, and classy. Thank you very much. That's what I was going for. Wanted to go with really simple. Beatrice Estrella says, hey, from Portugal. And Mark says, it's 11 o'clock in Helsinki, Finland. So just about to bed, but stopped in to say, hey, well, thanks. Thanks for stopping in with us before you head off to bed. At what point in Helsinki, is Helsinki far enough north that like in the summertime it has daytime all day long, or no, is that does not happen there, does it? Um, and I don't know. My knowledge of geography is just woefully bad. So I apologize. Adam Anderson says, hey, from St. Louis. And Mark Trujillo says, just picked up the Nike Wildhorse 6 from Jack Garrett for $72. That's amazing. That's crazy because that shoe like just came out. And the fact that it's already on Jackrabbit at $72 is amazing. But I saw on Jackrabbit earlier this week as well that like the SL20, the Adios 5, and the I think those two were both like really cheap, like significantly marked down already. And it's just surprising. I wonder if just like they're releasing the shoes because they already had made them before everything kind of like fell apart. But maybe now they're just trying to move product and people just aren't buying shoes or what. So let's see. Um, Tom AK says, here is Kofuzi. What's going on? J Mark Remy says, 50K done. It was for charity. Awesome. I think you were talking about that yesterday. Direct relief for COVID-19, ran around the neighborhood and got to say hello to lots of neighbors over the 31.1 miles. Beer time, for sure. Cheers to that. Congratulations on your 50K. Well done, sir. Motivation Theory, when it says thanks, he's got his 50K coming up tomorrow. CV76 says, your daughter showing an interest in running? Yes, they are. Both of them are, in fact. But in like a healthy, like 3-year-old and 8-year-old kind of way. The 8-year-old, my older daughter, she likes it, but like she just likes being active. She loves her scooter, she loves her bike. When we can get out to the park, she loves to just run in the park. And she just likes to go. She loves riding her bike in like loops and loops and loops and loops. We'll find like little like paths to like make or circuits to make in the park, and she'll just ride those really fast. And I can go and I'll like stand like in the center of it and I'll watch her, and I kind of like I run back and forth on the loops, kind of like I'm a track coach, and I give her encouragement, mostly because she was learning to ride a two-wheeler. So that's kind of what that is. Not that I'm like track coaching her, but yeah. So she's seeing interest. They each did like a kids race last year. I think my daughter ran 2 miles, and the baby at 3 did like a 1 mile. But that's when you do with like your with a parent, and my wife did that with her, so they were super happy to do that. So I think they're both interested. I don't want to push either of them into like running at that young age, but any sport where there is lots of just endurance involved, I'll generally just try and encourage that. That's kind of the plan. And his number says, Kofuzi, nice mug. I did a dry triathlon today. Ooh, what's that? 1.5K indoor rowing, 40K cycling on rollers, and then a 10K trail run. Awesome. Hour and 54 minutes. Good to mix things up. That sounds like fun. That I could do. Sounds like a lot of fun. Awesome. That's so cool. Max Hader says, Jabra 750 arrived. You're off the hook as they are great. 17 miles this morning. I could hear the traffic, which is nice. It's just a great set of earbuds. I love mine. I actually didn't run with mine today because I wanted to. I was doing a test and I needed to be able to hear this watch. But otherwise, unless it's a super hot day where they might fall out because of like a ton of sweat, those are the ones that I wear when I'm not testing anything. Right now, though, I'm not wearing them because I'm using these Tautronics ones for these live streams. But the Jabra Elite 75T is a great earbud. Noah says, writing an essay about Beccaria. Good to have this in the background. Cool. All right. Good luck with the writing. Um, Hopefully, we can help provide some focus for you. Cheese 415 says hello from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Hopefully things are going okay over there. We're starting to get a little bit of the restlessness in this state that you guys have in your state. Hopefully both you and I can stay safe with everything going on. Paul O'Brien says hi from Ireland. Good to see you again. And hi. Tuotis says greetings from Helsinki as well. Just registered for tomorrow. The Wings for Life run at the last minute. Can't wait for it. Awesome. That's cool. Running with Mark says sunset is 23:30 and sunrise is 3:30 in the morning. So wow. So that's 10:30 at night sunset and 3:30 in the morning sun. Wow, that's not. I mean, you consider in like first light and last light. That's not a lot of nighttime. That's cool. That's cool. Um, I would love to experience kind of like that kind of really, really long day. I ran with someone on my last Ragnar that I ran. One of the team members, or at least our team captain, was from Alaska, and he was saying that it's like that for him up there, and that it's just super fun in the summertime. And I just think that people that have really long or hard winters really know how to enjoy summertime as well. And so like that's kind of just something like I would love to be in like that kind of community around those people, those kinds of people that like embrace outdoors in the summertime like that. So that's cool. Brad Lames here from Ohio. What's going on? Abram Marino. Greetings from best wishes from Los Angeles. That's cool. Jesse Aguirre's here from Houston. Awesome. Um, yeah. And running with Mark says though in the winter, sunrise is at 9:30 and the sunset is at 3:15. That'd be hard. That'd be really hard though. That's a trade-off. But wow, that's crazy. Okay, so we got Motivation Theory running saying about his run for tomorrow. He's got the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 19 and the Enda Lapetet in today. Oh, wife was looking. There are many more on the way. Send help. Yeah. Uh, yeah, my wife kind of got used to all the shoes come in. I got a new pair of shoes in today from Roadrunner Sports. They sent me a pair, so that's something that'll come up later this week, something you guys have been asking for. So pretty excited about that. George Jenkins says foam rolling time. Yeah, a lot of people have been enjoying these YouTube live streams and our conversations for foam rolling, and I think that's awesome. Um, Brad Lamb says, great to hear about the kids. We have a May the 4th run with your kids. Oh, that sounds awesome. My daughter, the older one, she doesn't really like Star Wars, but she loves that I like Star Wars, and so she likes to. She's very encouraging, and I think she wants to like Star Wars. But I think you know every once in a while I try again, to get her into it to see if it'll catch. But if she doesn't end up loving it, that's all right. I think she will. But right now she doesn't. But that's cool though. Made it for throwing with the kids. Awesome. Embryo Scoof Embiro Sukaful says, "Will you ever try Ultra shoes? I love them. I'm going to try them tomorrow. I've got the Ultra Escalantes. I've had them in for a little while. I've been waiting for the right time to try them out. I think tomorrow's run, I'm going to try to get out there for a good hour and a half, get at least 10 miles in on them, and see how they do. So, uh, t so I think that a lot of people have been asking for it, and I keep pushing it back. But I think, I'm ready. The shoes look great. Um, I think that like if Ultra wanted to make like a not so Ultra, um, which like if that's your thing, don't if you don't have to tone down your weird, but like I feel like if they're and I said because said that about Hoka stuff too, but like if you want to like try to appeal to more, I feel like the Ultra Escalante is a good looking shoe. It's just like that outsole, it like really is weird looking because it looks like a foot, so like if they toned that down and made the outsole of that look, I guess, kind of more like a Newton, but the Newton's kind of weird because it has those like pod things on the bottom. But anyway, there's ways you could do it. But I'm trying to put like the differences on the shoes, the differentness of the shoe aside. Hopefully, I'll go out and have a fantastic time. Thomas Abbott is foam rolling as well, telling us, and he asks any advice for somebody looking to create a YouTube channel for diabetic average runners. I think that's a fantastic idea, um, and I think that one thing that I would do is like really focus on it. You have some very unique challenges that you're going to have to face as a diabetic runner that I think that a lot of people that are similar in your situation are really going to need to know certain information, and certainly when it comes to fueling. And I think that that could be very interesting and a really big area where there could be a lot of growth on YouTube for that. Because I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to look at it for two reasons. One, from an informational perspective, like I want to run too, and I've got type 1 or I've got type 2, and how do I manage that? The other is going to be like from an inspirational perspective. So if you're just getting out there and run every day, which is like the premise of this channel, is I just get out there and I run every day. I'm not gifted, but I just do it, and this is what happens when someone just runs a lot. And so I think that like that's going to help inspire a lot of people if you're a diabetic runner. So I think that's super cool. Um, that's something where I might also regularly either like maybe you could do something with your physician or with other people like a dietitian if you're working with that kind of person to help you along with certain differences and things that you might need to look out for. That's I think a type of channel that might benefit from having certain professionals come visit, or participate if you can get them to, either on Instagram live streams or on YouTube live streams or just on like recorded Zoom calls, that kind of thing. So I think that'd be a really pretty cool niche. I think that the more people niche down, the better. Like niche down, niche down, niche down, then like dominate that niche, and then you can expand easily. That's kind of like is the way I would go about it. My mom's here from New Jersey. Hi, Mom. And Jesse Aguirre coming in with the super chat. Thank you so much, Jesse. And I love the little sticker or that little icon going in there. Says keep it up. Appreciate that very much. And yeah, thanks so much. It's the super chats and also all the other conversations and comments that I get from you guys that make it easy for me to just dive into this every single day. Every day, by the time we get to the end, I don't get to all the comments because everyone's coming in and contributing and making the conversation awesome. And so thank you guys so much for participating in these conversations. I'm having a great time, and hopefully you guys are really enjoying it too. Um, CB76 has also had kids run those kids fun runs. It'd be cool to run a marathon with them when they're older. Yeah, I mean, I would love that. Or to do a relay with them, I think would be super cool as well. I'm not ever gonna like push them to it, but I'm sure. I mean, I've got the picture on the wall of me and my dad, and the race that like at the Baltimore Running Festival, they ran at least the year that I did it. They did the half marathon at the same time as the marathon, and there were certain points where the race overlapped. And the way they did it, my dad and I caught up to my mom on the course. So there was a point where all three of us were there. So that was pretty cool. So I think there's lots of races where you could have really cool like chances like that to like kind of all connect or run at the same time, or just like you know for like to pace my daughter or for her to pace me, whichever way the case may be. I think would be a real that would be so very gratifying, a lot of fun for me. I hope you get to do that too, Steve. Martha says, brother lives in Alaska and there are some fun races there in the summer. Even when you talk about sunset, even in Anchorage, it's more twilight. It doesn't get completely dark. That's so cool. But I hear sometimes the bugs can be insane in Alaska, just because like when they come out, it's like you get a summer's worth of bugs like all at once. Um, Tough Duck 414 says, any concerns about the Ultra Zero drop? I'm a little bit concerned about it, but I think I'll be fine. I think one of the things that I have as a like a natural strength, like kind of like file that in like the weird secret talents category, is that like my body responds or doesn't respond to changes in heel drop. Like a lot of people are like, oh, I can't go from like an 8 millimeter to a 4 millimeter or a 10 to a 6. It'll take me a couple of like weeks of getting used to that or transitioning to that. I can jump around in a week and do that, like 10, 6, 8, whatever. Most of the time, I don't really notice it. I think that's not necessarily a reflection of me. I think that's more a reflection of I don't think that heel drops are that big of a deal. But zero drop is not something I've run in before. I did 1 millimeter in the carbon rockets, but it's a little bit different because you're not really using the whole shoe in that carbon rocket. But in the Ultra Escalante, I will be. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. Um, M M Byro Sukaful says, "Have I used a zero drop shoe before? It takes a little to get used to." Yeah, and I haven't, and so like I will keep that in mind for the review. Like it's definitely going to be one of those reviews where it's like this is the first run, and I'm not a zero drop runner, so like I'm trying to like experience the shoe with like some understanding and some caution with it. So if I don't like it right away, I'm going to try and figure out like, is it that I don't like certain aspects of the foam or the upper, or is it that I just need to get used to the drop? So we'll see. It'll be an interesting experiment. Justin Gingrich says, any initial thoughts on the Peg 37 versus the Infinity Run? Can't remember if you tried the Infinity Run. Curious if there's a similarity with direct foam. I have tried the Infinity Run. It's a fun shoe. It felt big and a little bit heavy, but it has such a wide platform. I think that's kind of that's what they were going for. I think the Peg 37 is going to be a lot of fun. So far, what I've seen of people running in it, they really like it. I really like the Vomero 14, and that was React with Zoom Air in it. And this is going to Peg 37 is React with Zoom Air in it, um, but a much bigger Zoom Air pocket. Like I really want to take a look, and I've seen like Nike made that video where they kind of did like that X-ray or like that Total Recall type of like I don't know if that is that an X-ray or whatever it was where you could like see inside and see like the Zoom Air pocket. It looks like an Air pocket, like a Nike Air pocket. It doesn't look like Zoom Air. Zoom Air usually is like a sandwich of materials, like the Zoom Air pocket, like the Air pocket in the Alphafly. It's got like little like tentacles like that are in there, and those fibers are what make that like kind of like compress and like spring back. And so I don't know if those are still in the Zoom Air pocket because when they're saying that it's at 20 psi, that makes it seem to me like it's an air pocket. So I really want someone to cut theirs open. I guess maybe I'll have to. I don't want to do that. I'm really bad at it, so like I don't want to like cut it open, but and not slice it open either. I want someone to like dissect it and take the pod out intact. But because that's what I really want to see. Let's see. Motivation Theory Running says, I'm foot rolling with a baseball. The baby crawled over and bit big toe. She's sneaky. That's so funny. Babies are so weird. JHC says, have I heard about the Adizero Pro? It's going to be high stack shoes like Vaporfly. Yeah, it's supposed to be Light Strike Pro or Light Strike something. I forget what it's called, but it's like Light Strike, but it's going to be lighter in terms of like not I think not as dense, and so it should compress a lot more, and so it gives you that combination of compression, but also it's still a plated shoe though, so like it's compressed and the plate makes it so like you don't like sink into it, and so kind of like the way I think about like the way those two things work is like like something can be soft, like jumping into a high jump pit, or like those things that like stuntmen fall into, like a big giant pad, you fall into it, right? But you can't get out of those things, or like being in a bounce house, you bounce and you lay down on the floor, but trying to get out of a bounce house, it's like you can't get out of it. You're like stuck because it's so mushy. The carbon fiber plate springs you back out of it, so that's kind of like where carbon fiber plates tend to come into play with a lot of these super shoes. Make a super soft cushion, and then the carbon fiber plate makes it so you can get like pushed back out of it. And I think that the Zero Pro is trying to go for that too, with a much lighter or the less dense version of Light Strike. So I'm really looking forward to it. I hope to get a pair. Um, let's see. Antoine says, any thoughts on the Peg 36 Trail? Did I run in that one? I'm not sure if I did run in the Peg 36 Trail. Um, I think I have. I think I ran in the Gakuso Peg 36 trails. Yeah, I did. And that was a fun shoe. I like it as a either like a grass or like a just like not a dirt road, but like if it's like an unpaved road type of surface. Or if you're going to go from road and run to a light trail, I think that's great there. The way I kind of see the trail shoes is like if you got like a Pegasus here and you got like the Wild Horse here, then you've got Peg 36 Trail, Terra Kiger, Wild Horse. That's kind of how I see them. Wild Horse, as far as I know, I think is the only one with a rock plate. Terra Kiger, I think, has two smaller rock plates or dense areas that are in there for protection. The Peg 36 Trail has like bigger lugs, more rubber on the outsole, but it doesn't have a rock plate. And the Terra Kiger was React foam. That was fun too. I really. Um, let's see. Greg Itahara's here. What's going on? Uh, Martha says, yes, I always say the mosquito is the state bird of Alaska. That's funny. We're talking about Alaskan summers. That's funny. Um, Zbigniew Pluta says, hi from Poland. What's going on? Um, see, Ronald Rhodes is in Kentucky. DW Running's also in Kentucky. What's going on, everybody? Um, Kurt says, I find that the heel drop depends on the shoe. I don't really mind different drops, but it really depends on the shoe. I've had some that feel weird, but have gone up to 10-ish and others and didn't notice. And he runs in 0 to 10 millimeter drops. Yeah, I think so too. I think that like different shoes, they're playing with the heel drops. Like I think that like there's the heel drop and we make it looks like a wedge or a 10 millimeter drop. But I think within that, I think there's different things that they're doing into the shoe that can like set where your foot is within that 10 millimeter. So I don't think just because it's a 10 millimeter heel drop, your foot is sitting on like that angle. So I just think that like the Brooks Ghost 11 had the 12 millimeter heel drop. That felt like more than 12 millimeters. Other shoes have like a 4 millimeter heel drop and they feel like a lot more than four. And some have like a 10 millimeter heel drop and or 8 millimeters and feel like they're four. So like I have a hard time. I think that most people, if you didn't tell them what the heel drop was in a shoe, they would have a hard time guessing. That's my theory. Um, let's see. Zignio Puta says, how is running going in this crazy times? I think for me, it's going okay. I've tried to run really early in the morning to avoid people. That makes, I mean, whether I really need to do that or not, I don't know. I'd rather err on the side of caution on that. It makes me feel better about my running, especially since I'm coming home to three girls, my wife and two kids, from my run. So that's what I've been doing. It's hard. It's a transition. I usually normally run pretty early in the morning, but trying to get outside by 4:30 in the morning is hard. So I've been like trying to get used to that. Other than that, can't complain. I know a lot of other people have it a lot worse. So I'm trying to keep that like in mind, that like, perspective. Um, Siami says, good morning from the other side of the world. Good morning to you too. Um, Running with Pete says, Yo, Kofuzi did a virtual 5K today, and your checker song got me to a quick start. That's awesome. That's cool. Sometimes when I don't run with music, I end up with like one song stuck in my head for the entire run. And so like I guess it was only a 5K today. So hopefully like if that was the only song that got stuck in your head, at least it's not that long of a run. or not a terrible. I'm not that 5K is that short, but at least it wasn't like a half marathon today. Hopefully the 5K went well. Um, Ronald Road says, "Have I tried the Nova Blast yet? The A6 Nova Blast? I ordered some last night since Jamie and Seth kept bragging about them. Yeah, I just got a pair in today. That's what Roadrunner Sports just sent me. So I'll be looking at them probably later this week, maybe Monday or Tuesday. So the video should hit maybe like Wednesday or Thursday. You guys have been asking for it a lot. So like they emailed me the other day and are like, hey, how's it going? Hope you guys are doing all right. Anything we can send you? I was like, you guys gotta send me some Nova Blast, please, because everyone's asking for it. Yeah. And let's see. Blackbean Burger says the heel drop in a Pegasus doesn't feel as high. Yeah, see, like it looks like it's gonna be really high though. I know like optically it's because like they have that like little dip part in there with the different colors and stuff, but it looks like I mean, like the stack height is I think a little bit taller than last year's by like 2 millimeters or something like that. Same heel drop, but it just seems like there's so much more foam in there. But I don't know if it's just like does the foam just like look like it comes up? Does it cup your foot? And so like how much are you actually sitting on? So I like sometimes when I see people try to measure the heel drops, like I don't even know where a person should measure if you're going to try to measure heel drop yourself. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Do you measure just from like the fattest part in the heel? And then where do you measure for like the forefoot, like what looks like the thinnest? Like, but what if there's another part that's like the shoe curls up sometimes, and if that's the part that you're really hitting, I mean, I don't know how to even measure that. But anyway, and then also like sometimes like with Hoka shoes, like the foam, here's like if this is the insole, sometimes the foam comes up around. What about all those shoes with like guide rail type of technology in it, or not technology, but like techniques? Like where you don't measure the top of the guide rail, you measure where the foot is, right? For heel drop. So like I don't know how they're like you have like a weird like pincer type caliper that can get inside the shoe and then like measure. I don't know. I think heel drop's like a weird thing. Heel drop, I think, used to be useful and it used to be a good like proxy for like here's how the shoe's gonna feel. But I don't know. I've ranted against heel drop a long time for a while and a lot today. I apologize. Um, Christina Lopez says, thank you for your videos. You're such an inspiration. You got me out of my slug slump. I'm running consistently now, and daughter loves to tag along in the stroller. Awesome. That's cool. I'm glad that you're feeling better about the running and running consistently. That's great. And how much better that you can bring your daughter with you. I was talking about it the other day. My kids never really got into the jogging stroller. They would always just kind of get really bored. And then I would always ask them, do you guys want to go with daddy? You want to go running? And they'd always be like, no. So like it was never even like a maybe. It wasn't even like a hey, we can bring a toy or a snack. They were just like, nope, I don't want to go. But in their defense, I usually run over by the lakefront, and I also try to run in the mornings. So it'd usually be pretty early for them, and they'd rather kind of like just sit and like wake up and kind of just have a relaxing morning a lot of times on the weekends. Or the weather would be terrible, and so it'd be like raining and like super windy, and I always feel bad like kind of like wind battering the kids in the stroller. So I never really pushed it with them, but they never really got into it. Um, but I'm always jealous of other people that can do it. Joe Jopet Mangulabnan says currently using Nike Pegasus 36 Shield. No issue so far. Perfect for road and trail terrain. Awesome, especially in the Philippines where some are muddy. Awesome, very cool. I'm glad you enjoy it. Camille Gual says please video Ultra Boost 20 Sue teach French. Oh, you want me to subtitle it in French? Yeah, I can't. I think that's what you're asking for. I don't know how to do that. That's the hard thing. None of my videos have subtitles, even in English, like captions at all. So that's like something that I know is important, especially for people. Not everyone can hear well, but they still want to watch YouTube videos. I'd love to be able to do that. Um, it's something that I need to look into, though. That's a very good point, Camille. Thank you. Joseph Rasmussen says, I've been running in Payless shoes for most of high school and got the Pegasus 36 yesterday. First run, got a PB in the mile by almost a minute. Awesome. That's great. But you know what? It's not just about the shoes, too. I mean, if you've just been running in Payless shoes, maybe that helps a little bit. But if you've been running for most of high school, that's probably the biggest thing that has gotten you to get a PB in the mile. But awesome. Great. Hope you can like build on this momentum and continue the running and keep it up. Good work, Joseph. Um, Tupac 96. Tupac 96. That's a nice YouTube name. Are the Adidas Ultra Post shoes suitable for club practice? I'm not familiar with that shoe, and I don't know what club practice means. So I don't know how to answer that question, I'm afraid. Kurt says his older one, like the jog stroller, the little one never did. They're 18 and about to be 15 now. Oh, that's a long time ago. Um, yeah, I, uh, that I bet you that feels like it was just yesterday though when you're trying to get him into that jogging stroller. I just feel like the time is flying so quickly. Um, DW Running says attempting the math training slow sucks. It sure does, but now is a great time to do it. Where there's no expectations for your running, no one's like caring that they're running more or less or faster or slower. So it's a good time to do it. On the other hand, though, I could feel like, with everything that's going on in the world, if your running isn't going well on top of that, or you're doing math training where it's super frustrating like every day, I can imagine it'd be hard to stick to. So I can see both ends of it, it being a great time for it, but maybe also a terrible time for it. But hopefully it works out for you. And if you have any questions about it, let me know if I can help. Uh, Martha is saying, I think Camille's just asking if there's another French person here. Well, yeah, I think Camille was. That's what, yeah, till en français ici. But I think before Camille was asking if there's going to be subtitles in French on any of those videos, I think. Um, it's been a long time since I took French in college for a year, maybe even just a semester. I don't know. So I definitely am not able. That would have been in like 1997, 1998. So it's been a while. Joe Pith is going for a 10K run, 4:30 in the morning. Go for it, man. Oh, 4:30 in the morning runners. Wow, that's tough. Hello from the Philippines. Hope you have a good run. Um, Stevie76 says the marathon world record pushing a stroller is a 2:31. That's so fast. Like, can you imagine like that stroller? The stroller, the wheels were probably hot by the end of that, I bet you. Kurt says it really does feel like it was yesterday. Crazy when talking about how fast his kids grow up. Crazy how fast they grow up. Awesome to be a girl dad, but I do miss them being little sometimes. Yeah, like the girls, they're super snuggly at this age and they love giving hugs. And it's really nice. It's really, really nice being a girl dad. I love it. Um, Actors Production says, do I ever get runner's knee? I think I have it now. I got some sort of weird thing that's coming and going. I don't know that it's related to me running in the Freedom 3 from Saucony. But like today I ran in it and my knee acted up real bad. Now yesterday I had a pretty fast run that put, probably more strain on it than an easy run would. And so I could see it happening. It could either be just the strain of yesterday impacting the run today, or it could be the shoe, or it could be a little bit of both. Uh, but I don't know exactly what people mean when they say runner's knee, but I got a weird thing happening in my knee where it just kind of feels funny. Today it felt like I was getting something was poking me in the arch. It felt like the shoe was, and I don't know if that was like, I don't know if that's what's causing it or what. But yeah. So the answer is maybe. Sorry. Luis Becerra says, doesn't YouTube translate the videos? Because if I put Spanish, it puts subtitles on the video. I think I can turn it on to like have YouTube automatically do some of the captions. I've seen that on other people's channels, and then you could read if I read them, it's like reading when like the iPhone uh, does like visual voicemail, and like sometimes like the translation is good, and sometimes like the transcription is like not very good. So I think you could do that. Other than that, I'm not sure. I'll look into it further though. Yeah, Justin Ginger says, I hope it was an industrial strength stroller for that 2:31 marathon. Holy smokes. Yeah. Zach Lauren says, hey, Mike, living in Chicago, you probably answered this before, but do you think you'd try triathlon after sub 3? I think probably. I mean, right now, I've been on the bike, not a lot, but I've been on a bike. I would have to buy an actual bike or secure one to borrow for a triathlon, and then do some sort of I'd probably try and get like adult swimming lessons, or maybe I even get a coach for it, um, just to help me with the swimming part because I don't know how to train for it or practice in it, and I could barely swim. Um, but I think so, just because once we're able to get back outside and compete and commune in different activities like racing again, I'm not going to say no to anything really. Um, Cody Davis says, have I ever used suspension training like TRX? I'm not. I don't even know what that is. Um, Andre Gaiman says it's like a sharp pain in the kneecap. That's not what I'm getting. So that's not what, if that's what runner's knee is, I don't have a sharp pain in the kneecap. Motivation Theory Running says, you're doing well, Kofuzi, without optimization. Auto caption seems to work for me. I optimize everything and results vary. May just start focusing less on optimization to see what happens. Okay. All right. So I guess there is an auto caption that's going on in the videos. Let's see. Um, Ronald Rhodes says his runner's knee was more like on the side of the knee. Yeah. I call it in the knee, but it's not, I don't know if it's in the knee or not. It feels like it's like the top of the tibia, like right below the knee part, I guess. But I guess that's the knee, the top of the tibia. So I don't know. Cameron McBride says, happy Saturday. Just ordered non-elite shirt last week. Awesome. Hopefully it gets to you soon. Like I was saying at the top of the conversation today, like I think it prints in like it batches, like every couple of days, there's like a print day. And so like depending on when you put your order in, you can get it relatively quick or it might take a while. So hopefully you get yours soon. Active production say, how do you deal with knee pain? Are there stretches that I do? I just kneel 3 times 1 minute, but now I'm getting this bulge in the kneecap. I don't know. I might talk to a doctor about that or PT, physical therapist. With me, I don't. I mean, the only thing that I've done every once in a while, I've iced after the run to kind of just if there's any pain to make it kind of like everything calm down. I'm thinking about maybe trying to do some sort of stretching or warm up before I go out there running. So like tomorrow, I think I might I'm thinking about, we have a heating pad at home. So I think I might sit with the heating pad and have like a cup of coffee for like 10 minutes before I go out there and see if that kind of like helps loosen things up. Because like, while it like bothers me, it doesn't like stop me from running. And then like if I kind of run through it, if I run slowly but keep going, um, I'm fine. Not great, but I'm fine. And so I'm wondering if it's just like maybe it's part of me getting old. I need to figure out a different kind of warm up routine. A lot of people have been asking me about my warm up routine, so maybe it's like coincidentally some sort of way of like the running universe kind of like, trying to put that idea or concept in my head and telling me, hey, this thing that's bothering you, it's because you're not warming up. Maybe that's the case. DW Running says, after kids were born, mom told me that time would go more quickly. Being the geek I was, I explained how that was impossible and even quoted Einstein. She just smiled and yes, she was right. That is so funny. That is so funny. Yeah, I mean, yeah, time is a constant. But I wrote a paper for my philosophy class in college that's saying our minds are hard. Like I think there might be something in our biology that hardwires our minds to think of time as being constant, but it may be, it was kind of like I guess like less philosophy and more like theoretical physics. I was arguing that time is just a construct, a different way of experiencing something spatial. We perceive it as going, from point A to point B in a constant rate at a constant vector. But who's to say that it's not something that we can experience in multiple like kind of directions, like we can experience up and down, left and right, forward, like depth, and forward and back. And so I kind of examined a couple of other philosophers who kind of played around with conceptions of reality and consciousness and things like that. So I've always been fascinated with the idea of time. Um, but yeah, it's so funny that you were like trying to argue with your mom about how time is constant and doesn't go faster. That's so funny. That sounds like something that I would do for sure. That comment made my day. That's so funny. Um, Chris Bear says, but Einstein proved that time is not constant, it's relative. Yeah, that's so funny. Oh man. This conversation has taken on a very interesting turn. Probably not your tip. This is definitely not your typical runners podcast. So that's so funny. All right, with that, I'm going to leave it there, guys. I know there's a lot of questions coming. I apologize for that. If you have like a burning question, you can always DM me on Instagram for anything like that. I'm happy to answer any questions to the extent that I can over there. Thanks for tuning in today, everybody. Hope you have a great Saturday and a great Sunday run tomorrow as well. I'll be back on the live stream tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., and then back here on YouTube, 3 p.m. So in the meantime, hope you guys all stay safe and have a great day. Thanks everybody for tuning in.